In 1988, at the absolute zenith of her late-night TV fame, and just as Halloween was becoming her holiday, Cassandrapeterson, the woman behind the beehive, the fishnets, the razor-sharp one-liners, did what no horror host had ever dared. She stepped off the small screen, slipped into a shimmering black gown that defied both gravity and decency, and unleashed Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, upon the world. Not as a gimmick, not as a cash grab, but as a full-throated, spell-slinging, small-town scandalizing declaration that she wasn't just a cult figure, she was a movie star. Directed by James Signorelli, a Saturday Night Live veteran who knew timing was everything, and co-written by Peterson herself. The film doesn't just adapt her persona, it amplifies it, turning every quip, every wink, every scandalized gasp into cinematic gold as Elvira, fed up with her sleazy LA TV boss and dreaming of a Vegas stage show dripping in neon and sin, inherits what she thinks is a fortune from her mysterious great-aunt Morgana, only to find herself stranded in the suffocatingly puritanical town of Falwell, Massachusetts, where her plunging neckline causes more panic than a poltergeist, and her unapologetic brand of chaos is treated like a public health crisis. What follows is pure, uncut 80s magic, a fish-out-of-water comedy, a gothic fairy tale, and a sex-positive revenge fantasy, all rolled into one. As Elvira, armed with nothing but her wit, her wardrobe, and a poodle she renames Gonk, turns the creepy inherited mansion into her lair, befriends the town's rebellious teens with bikini car washes and rock and roll, and accidentally unlocks a family spellbook that draws the wrath of her power-hungry gretuncle Vincent, a warlock played with delicious menace who wants those ancient incantations for himself and will stop at nothing to get them. But here's the genius of the film. The real horror, isn't Vincent S. spells or his creepy minions. It's the town itself. Led by the pearl-clutching, hymn-singing Chastity, Pariah, and her council of moral guardians, Falwell sees Elvira as public enemy number one. A corrupting force, a walking sin, a woman who dares to own her sexuality, her sarcasm, and her space without apology. And Elvira, she leans in hard. She turns their outrage into entertainment, their fear into farce, their repression into rebellion, all while delivering lines like, "I didn't inherit money, I inherited a poodle and a spellbook." Close enough, and don't you just hate it when you're having a bad hair day and your hair is on fire? With the timing of a vaudeville queen who's seen it all and still finds it hilarious, the effects, practical, playful, and proudly low budget. Rubber bats, smoke machines, glowing cauldrons. But that's the point. This isn't trying to be Poltergeist. It's trying to be fun. A love letter to Hammer horror, William Castle, and midnight movie madness, with Peterson gleefully chewing every last bit of scenery while never losing the heart beneath the camp. Critics at the time didn't know what to do with it. Too sexy for family audiences, too silly for horror purists, but audiences, they adored it. It bombed in theaters, then exploded on VHS, becoming a rental store staple, a sleepover sacrament, a Halloween tradition passed down like a cursed heirloom, and over time, its legacy only grew. Not just as a cult classic, but as a quietly revolutionary film. A female-led comedy where the heroine doesn't need a man to save her, doesn't apologize for her body, and defeats the villain not with brute force, but with brains, boobs, and bravado. It's The Witches of Eastwick meets Beetlejuice by way of a Vegas review. And it's perfect. So whether you're watching it for the 50th time or discovering it for the first, press play. Pour a martini, let the dry ice swirl, and when Elvira saunters onto screen, smirking like she owns the apocalypse, remember, this wasn't just her breakout film, it was her manifesto, her mic drop, her middle finger to anyone who ever told her to tone it down, cover it up, or sit quietly in the corner. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, didn't just make her a movie star. It made her immortal. And honey, immortality never looked so good in black.